What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Professor Anime coming back at you with another video. In today's video, guys, we're going to be discussing episode 1 of Musaigen no Phantom World, otherwise known as Myriad Colors Phantom World. So let's get this started. So apparently Musaigen no Phantom World was actually based off a light novel series in Japan, and an anime adaptation finally released for the winter 2016 lineup, and it is done by Kyoto Animation. And if you have seen Kyoto Animation's previous work, you will know how top-notch the quality is. Which it is. The animation in this whole entire episode throughout was really well done. There weren't any dirt moments that I noticed whatsoever. The animation was crisp, it was clean, it had some vibrant colors as well. It was pretty good. So now let's talk about what we know so far of the story of Musaigen no Phantom World. So Phantom World takes place within the human world, and humans now have the ability to detect supernatural beings, otherwise known as monsters, yokai, or phantoms in this case. Now, humans couldn't detect these yokai before because our brains are functionally different compared to animals. Animals actually do have the ability to sense yokai, as far as we know in this anime, because we see that cat actually noticing something that is going along the room, just wandering there, and we actually don't see that, but we see that the animal is noticing something that's happening compared to the human eye. And now, how humans actually were able to detect these supernatural beings was because a virus ended up breaking out, which ended up basically rearranging our algorithm in our brain. I thought the premise to this was actually quite interesting. It's something that we haven't really seen before in anime. I mean, we do get a lot of anime that focuses on the yokai, monsters, or supernatural beings, but how exactly they are presented in society, as well as a virus being broken out because, you know, basically rearranging our algorithm in our brains to act a certain way and to perceive different things, to like how animals would perceive certain things. I don't know, it just kind of, it interests me. It really did. So, and that's kind of like what made me kind of want to watch the entire episode and see where the anime was headed. Now, the anime, let's talk about what we know so far of the characters. So, we have Ichijo, who is apparently a bookworm. He has read every single book in his school's library, so now he has to go to the public library in order to read all the books. Now, this guy, I'll tell you, I mean, I know it's fiction, but that's ridiculous. Nobody goes to the public library just to read every single book, you know. I mean, I have a hobby for reading as well, not just manga or anything, but I read novels too. But I mean, dang, you just go to a public library because you want to read every single book? That takes some determination, man. So we are introduced to Ichijo, and we are also introduced to Mai, who is the female protagonist of the series, I guess you can say, since Ichijo, I guess, would be considered the male protagonist. And Mai is a fighter. She fights these yokai that appear. Now, the thing about her is that she has a very voluptuous rack, so you can definitely expect this episode to focus on fan service, and probably the rest of the series to mainly focus on the fan service as well. Hopefully it doesn't really go that route, because I'm actually from the first episode, what I saw, my first impressions of this, it was a very good anime, but hopefully the anime doesn't really, you know, focus on the fan service too much, because then it's going to take away the overall plot of the story, and then everything is just going to fall downhill. Please do not do that, Kyoto Annie. I mean, fan service is fine, don't get me wrong. All I'm saying is if you focus too much on that, you are taking away the overall potential of what actually could be a good series. And I don't want to see that turned down in this anime, because if it ends up going the fan service route, then, you know, I'll be slightly disappointed, because I'm actually really enjoying this series so far. From what I've seen in the first episode, the world is actually very unique on how it's actually set up with these monsters, and I just want to learn more about the world. It's very interesting. Now, let's talk about how exactly these yokai are sealed. So, they exist in the human world, and apparently Mai is going to be the fighter of the series, while Ichijo might be the sealer, I guess. We're not exactly sure. I'll get to that in a bit. we see Ichijo ended up drawing the yokai monster and then ended up lifting up his sketchbook, and we see that Mai throughout this episode is that she can basically seal the monster away by basically touching her body in a very sexual manner, but yeah. And we also got introduced to another character named Reina, who apparently is a phantom eater, and she can actually swallow phantoms whole. It's very odd, I know. Just due to her whole personality and everything, you really wouldn't expect someone to have that type of power, but hey, this anime is throwing out some very unique stuff, and I'm liking it so far. And when Reina and Ichijo end up meeting for the first time, it is very funny how everything goes down, because she ends up running away from him, getting completely, you know, scared or flustered or whatever, and she ends up tripping, and then all of a sudden Ichijo's like, oh no, I gotta protect her. And then he goes right under her to help, you know, catch her fall, and his hand is about to touch her boobs, and he's like, oh no, this is something that you would see out of a visual novel, light novel, or another anime. I cannot do this. Gotta resist the clichéness, and he pulls his hand back as hard as he can. I just love that scene. It made me laugh out loud throughout the entire episode. Or the scene, I'm sorry. Another part in this episode which I laughed at quite a bit was when we see these yokai playing Limbo, and our characters that we see so far in this episode, which is Reina, Mai, and Ichijo, they have to end up playing Limbo as well in order to let these yokai pass on, because right now, you know, they are currently living in limbo. It's very funny. And Ichijo and Reina end up getting out. They end up failing, going too low. You know how limbo is played. And then we see Mai. I gotta say that the way the animation was handling this, and the fan service in general, on how exactly she was playing Limbo, I mean, you just see her trying to, like, bounce her boobs to just get as low as possible underneath the bar, and wow, I was laughing a lot at this episode. I really was. I really enjoyed this episode. I mean, it had some decent fan service, and it had great animation, and I'm really liking the premise of the overall series right now. So, yeah, I mean, you guys should really go check it out if you haven't already. I mean, if you don't like fan service in anime, then maybe this series won't be for you. So, yeah, but as far as what I personally thought about the episode, it was a really good first impressions, and I really do want to check out episode 2 of Phantom World and just, you know, understand the world on how it works exactly. Also, by the end of the episode, it looks like we are going to be introduced to the girl with the red hair in the next episode and see what kind of power she has. Apparently, from what I have read, her name is Koito Minase, and apparently she has the power to fight in solitude. So most likely by the second episode, we are going to have a 4-man team. We are going to have Mai, who ends up fighting off the yokai and ends up sealing her the yokai she encounters with her 5 elements that she has. And then we have Reina, who seals off yokai by swallowing them whole. We have Ichijo, who is pretty much your average guy, but he has a very high intellect, so that's going to come in handy for the team. And then we have Koito, who is going to make an appearance in episode 2, who apparently has the ability to fight in solitude, but we still don't have any clarification on her power yet, but that is what we know so far. So as far as what I enjoyed about this episode, like I said before, it is very good. I enjoyed it a lot, and I can't wait for episode 2 and just understanding more of the world that's going on in Musaigen no Phantom World. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on what you thought about the episode. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you interested? Just let me know your overall impressions of what you thought about the series. And of course, if you like this video, please give it a like, and let me and also excuse me, and also if you want to stay up to date to my future content on this channel, please hit the red subscribe button below, and you'll never miss a video from me. That about does it for this video, guys. I'm the anime professor, and I messed up, but I am still rocking. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Catch you guys next time.